Hi everyone, this is Dr. Mariam Narona, coordinator of the Startup and Innovation Cell of Neswadia College of Commerce, Pune. And I had hoped that this orientation session would be a live one, but due to the bad weather conditions in Pune and power outage, internet connectivity problems, I have recorded this and I hope it will help students to understand what the Startup and Innovation Cell does, and it will orient you overall regarding what we mean by a startup, what we mean by innovation. So, the Startup and Innovation Cell of our college has been established under the aegis of the Center for Innovation, Incubation and Enterprise of Savitribai Phule Pune University, and it was established by our college last academic year in June 2019, and it was voluntarily started by our college under the aegis of CIIE SPPU. To tell you a little bit about the structure and office bearers of the cell. So, at the university level, the cell is chaired by the principal of the college. It is headed by Dr. Manohar Sanap, and I am the coordinator of the cell. We have 5 student core committee members. This year we have Rohan Aaron of TY BCom. We have Tahir Vora and we have Akshat Mandalgi. We have Ritu Sharma and Radhika Sharma. They are spread across second year and third year of the BCom, BBA, CA, BVOC courses, BBA courses, and we have under the cell until last year we had 3 sub cells. We had the industry interaction cell, the social entrepreneurship cell, and we had the IPR cell. So we had Dr. Bharat Rathod heading the IPR cell, Dr. Deepa Dani heading the industry interaction cell, and we also had Miss Jasmine Shikalgar and Dr. Rajesh Raut heading the social entrepreneurship cell. Dr. Raut and Ms. Shikalgar were also in charge of conducting the college level startup idea contest. So that is the structure, a little bit about the structure, what it was until last year. We work within the framework of the guidelines given by the CIIE, and we await their guidelines this year. So last year we had conducted a number of guest lectures, we had panel discussions, we had invited our alumni who are entrepreneurs, business owners across Pune and beyond to come and talk to our students, share their perspectives. We had workshops on business idea generation, creativity. All workshops were geared towards orienting students about how they can be innovative, creative, and launch their own business. We also have a book club under the aegis of the cell. This is something we have done voluntarily. It was not outlined by CIIE. We have an entrepreneurship book club which has been actively running even during the lockdown. We have a small but enthusiastic batch of readers who read up a book every month and discuss it. Students steer the discussion, so that's a unique part of the book club activities. We've also had the startup clubs which we started last year. Miss Seema Purandare, coordinator of BBA CA, she was in charge, the faculty in charge of the startup clubs. We hope that this year we really see some startups, or we are able to at least orient you towards starting your own ventures, no matter how small. If it's big, it's very good, but at least you make a beginning. That is what we hope that we can do for you. So that's a very brief overview of the startup and innovation cell of our college, its workings and its structure. So I'll very briefly talk about startups before I speak about innovation. And a startup basically is a business with high growth potential, and it is always powered by technology. We tend to confuse a startup with a new business. Yeah, businesses which are relatively new, but they have high growth potential and they are powered by technology. Those businesses are known as startups. Otherwise, any activity you do with a profit making objective, that is business. So it's like this: if you are good at catering and you cater from home, that is also a business. If you open a restaurant, that is also business. But something what Swiggy and Zomato have done, they have brought in the technology element to it, and they are restaurant aggregators, or Uber and all have done that. They are cab aggregators. So those kind of businesses powered by technology and having high growth potential are startups. And it though there's a lot of hype about startups and things like that, a lot of people forget that the failure rate in startups is also very high. It is said that 9 out of 10 startups fail. Now, this is not being told to you to deter you from starting up on your own, but it is just to make you aware of the fact that yes, failure is very much a part of running a startup. And of course, we tend to view failure and success as opposite ends of the spectrum, that they are opposites. But no, success is made up of a lot of failure. In fact, it's built on failure. So there are people who are serial startup founders, and they have had one startup failing after another. There are people who are serial startup founders who are excellent at doing business, and their startups are all successful. So don't let it stop you, but understand what is a startup. And every business might not be able to have that technology angle to it, and there's nothing wrong with that. Now, innovation basically means doing something new, giving something a new twist, or coming up with something completely new, unheard of, what people never even conceived of. And so innovation sometimes means being a trendsetter, like Apple is with their products. Like the iPod disrupted the music industry, then every product which Apple launched. And now if you see, when the iPhone launched last year, it launched with 3 cameras, and now that's become a trend. That's like in every other mobile phone that comes along, 3 cameras is what people would look for. So innovation means being a trendsetter. It means doing something so revolutionary that others will only have no choice but to follow. So that's what innovation means. And in my talk today, I'm going to explore different dimensions of innovation, because I think for a business to succeed, or for you to succeed in life as a human being, as an employee, you need to build your own personal brand, regardless of whether you set up a business or not. Every person needs to build up their own personal brand, and you can only achieve that by being different. So it is said that if you want to be remembered, then you need to make a difference, and that can be achieved only by being innovative. So innovation means being a trendsetter. Now, Calvin and Hobbes. I think many of you might be familiar, and I think it's such an enduring cartoon strip and it's innovative. Why? Because it's a creative perspective on life. It tells you such plain truths about life and in such an innovative manner that you have no choice but to marvel each time at how beautifully the images, the illustration, and the words come together to tell you such a simple truth in life. And yes, so whether it is a Mario Miranda or it is a creator of Superman, Spider-Man, or Calvin and Hobbes, or Garfield, or Popeye, well, all these people were innovative. That is why you remember these characters. They've created such memorable characters and they came out of their head, their imagination. So a creative perspective is also innovation, and you can earn a lot of money out of having a creative or a different perspective on things in life. So there's a person called Danny Gregory. You can check him out online. He has a bit of a tragic story. His wife met with an accident a few years after they married and she was paralyzed. He had to take care of her. He found art to be therapeutic. He sought refuge in art, and so he came out with a series of books, and he has his own website. And basically what he's done is nothing but he's written very beautiful books on art. Your Creative License is one of them, and it's nothing but, if you look at Danny, he's not a trained artist or anything like that, but he just presents such a beautiful creative perspective on life. So people who use art for therapy, they also do nothing but they help you to understand your emotions and feelings. And yes, that can be a profession. You can be a consultant, you can have your own comic strip and make a lot of money out of it. So you can be innovative in these ways also. If you're artistic, like in your arts club or something like that, you can of course try to do something which is enjoyable and it helps you to make money. Being innovative is being imaginative, and imagination is something that can take you places. And I think all Harry Potter fans would be able to understand this very well. J.K. Rowling was a single mother living on food stamps who had these amazing characters coming out of her imagination, and she just kept writing. And even though she was rejected by publishers initially, she just kept at it. And well, the rest is history. All of us know that Harry Potter not only went on to become a best selling series of books, but it introduced us to some magical characters. It became movies, it became products, memorabilia, and so you have Harry Potter at the station also at King's Cross. So imagination, it can take you places, and so don't let it stop you. If you are good at reading, writing, I'm sure if you pen down your own thoughts, you can start small, start with a blog, and you can definitely be innovative about things in this way also, in expressing your ideas and your thoughts, your poetry. You can use your imagination like this to build your own personal brand. Innovation is also about unique taste and flavors. So you always watch cookery programs and they say, this is my secret spice mix. So a supremely successful product which many of us know, Nutella, it was a solution to shortage of cocoa during the wartime. And That's how this product was created, as a solution for shortage of cocoa for people who love cocoa. And today, literally, people are, Nutella fans. You have few variants of it, but it's a great example of a single innovative food product which has managed to keep people wrapped around its little finger, so to speak, just because it's so unusual and it's so unique. Many of you might be familiar with the Rubik's Cube. Now, it was made by a Hungarian architect and it is named after him. And it is one of the best selling toys or products in the world. And I think, it's a great inspiration to people that you can create such things. You can, just with a single product, you can build a fortune for yourself. Depends though how strategically you think. Maybe when this was made, no one thought that it would be so huge. Or Lego, for example, big hit. But probably when it started off, no one thought that it would, even the creators did not think that it would be such a success. So innovation means a single beautifully designed, interesting, innovative product. You can be innovative in how you present and design things. So food styling is one area which I came across, which I thought is, wow, this is so amazing. What do? You style food, you make it look really pretty for photography and shoots. And also probably someone like Deba Rajpal, the lady on the slide, she is passionate about baking, and that's her Instagram handle also, you can check her out. And so she bakes, she makes lovely desserts, and she's a food stylist and a photographer. And if you go to uh, her page on Instagram, I'm sure all those budding artists and photographers, people who are interested in food, will be really inspired. And I'm sure you'll realize that, well, yeah, this can also be a career. I can build my own brand or identity by doing something like this, by being supremely good at something I enjoy. All of us have been introduced to some very new careers. Like, we never thought that people would get paid to influence others. And today there's this whole tribe of social media influencers who people follow and aspire to emulate. And Ranveer Allahabadia, he's somebody who runs this YouTube channel called Beer Biceps, and he's an influencer. He was an engineering graduate who was very interested in fitness, but he realized that, by working as a trainer with people, he was helping them lose weight and things like that. But he was able to help out only one person in 2 hours or 1 hour. And if he took this to social media, he would be able to help so many more. Well, everyone is not cut out to be an influencer, but I'm just trying to show you how people innovate and find, they monetize, they're able to monetize sources of income. They're able to forge associations with brands and build a huge following. Millions of people follow him, and I think his TED talk is worth listening to, so do watch it. It's very inspiring. I'm just, as I said, exposing you to different ways in which you can be innovative. Now, innovation is also about overcoming your limitations. Now, many of us, like all of us, are not born equal, and many of us are born with some of our own limitations and things like that. The founder of IKEA was dyslexic, and he started his business when he started doing business when he was a small boy, 5 or 6 years old, and he started IKEA with some money which his father gave him at the age of 17. And the unique selling proposition of IKEA is that they have very affordable, simple, clean designs, and it's a huge brand that grew out of somebody's determination. So, this is also a way in which you can be innovative. Innovation is also about personalization and artistic expression. This is Vimal Chandran. He used to be a techie and he turned a photographer and illustrator. He makes these marvelous watercolor illustrations. You should check out his Instagram handle. Because he's a photographer, he does paid promotions with Vivo and things like that. But he is known for creating these unique watercolor illustrations which become invitation cards for couples. He has also illustrated a series where he's turned it into a calendar and he's turned it into different home accessories. But he's known for his distinct watercolor illustrations for couples, and he's really good at it. So this is also possible. People will leave a high paying technology job to do something they enjoy, and they are innovative. If he didn't have his unique style, people wouldn't be going after him to pay him and use his services. Now, this is Amin Haq. He is the founder of Storywalas, and he was an ad man. And I think innovation is storytelling. So, if you know the story of Aladdin and his magic lamp, or Arabian Nights, or Aesop's fables, all of us are fascinated by stories, and we don't realize, but all of us are always telling stories. The when we narrate an incident to somebody, today my day was this, and we are telling a story. And when you go for an interview, what are you doing? You're telling a story about a particular brand. What is that brand? That brand is you, that product is you. So he's built a business out of uh, telling stories, the power of stories, and you can be innovative by doing such simple things also, simple but powerful things. Now, business is earning profits out of solving problems. That's one of my favorite ways of describing business. And business is about solving common problems innovatively. And this is just one example. Fresh to Home, it's a startup which sells meat, chicken, fish, vegetables, and some ready made foods online. And the unique thing about them is their produce is good quality, home delivered at very competitive prices. You get quality. So being innovative in business is this. It's adding technology to something which is so mundane, buying chicken, fish, whatever. It makes it so easy for you without even you having to step out of your house, which I'm sure in the lockdown was a boon for many of us. So innovation is solving common problems. Innovation is simplifying things. Now, I put up one example. Razorpay has been in the news for being a unicorn now and attracting investments. But what does Razorpay do? Or say, what does a Paytm do or a PhonePe do? They simplify the process of making payments online, and this is something which is like your Google Pay and all are based on this. And what does it do? It makes a mundane task easy. All of this, of course, has become very necessary ever since demonetization. Not that before that we didn't need it, but we've just become more used to that now. So simplifying mundane tasks for people is also being innovative. You are innovative in business when you spot profitable niches. Okay, so this is Wow Momo, which is a big chain now, but it started out with an investment of 30,000 rupees by the founders, and it has so many outlets across India. You can listen to their TED talk, you'll understand how people think innovatively and build companies and startups. Innovation is also about reinvention. So if you take Wow Momos, which we just discussed, they saw the gap in the market. They chose momos. Well, you can have samosas, you can have vada pav, you can have tea, and you can choose your own niche and be innovative about it. You can choose even just eggs. Have a cafe where everything is focused around eggs. That some people have vegan cafes, some people have gelato, some people have frozen yogurt, and that's how they build, identify niches and build businesses. And I think innovation is also about reinvention. Something what Amazon did. It started off selling books, then moved to ebooks, Kindle, Audible, Amazon Prime. So it's come, and now you have Amazon Pay. So it's just kept on reinventing itself, and this is also innovation, because otherwise, if you stay where you are, you might become stagnant like BlackBerry and Kodak. You might fade away because you suffer from something called marketing myopia. You refuse to see the signs of the times that are coming, and that the need that to reinvent yourself. This happens with us at a personal level also, where we want to remain the same, we don't want to change, but we want everything to change for us. And so we need to reinvent not only ourselves, but if you're running a business, you need to keep reinventing your product or service to keep people interested in it. So I would say, whether you are running a startup, or you want to run a startup, or you want to start a business which may or may not classify as a startup, please don't let these things stop you. The lack of funds, you can always bootstrap. You can start small. There are number of businesses where you can start really small, so don't let that stop you. Don't let the lack of faith or confidence that family and friends have in you prevent you. So many a times, all the voices around us, they drown out the voice which is in our head. So we want to go ahead, but people around us don't express faith and confidence, or they keep pushing us towards one drug which is called salary, which you get every month, which comes like regularly every month, and you get hooked onto it. So they push you towards that. So don't let this stop you. Don't let limited resources stop you, because you can always be innovative. Those are the examples I gave you. You might not need the most expensive camera, you might not need the most expensive tools. Even a paintbrush and a few watercolors are enough for you to be innovative and start what you do, what you enjoy. Depends on what it is. So don't let these things stop you, and don't let your own limitations stop you. Obviously, all of us are human. We cannot be good at everything, but we can always find somebody else who's good at something. So when Apple was founded, Steve Jobs, he was not a tech guy, but he was a brilliant marketer. Steve Wozniak was a tech guy. So don't let your own limitations stop you. Look for somebody who will balance you out. Look for co-founders who will be strong in the areas where you are not. Don't let any of these things stop you from realizing your dreams. I think you have time on your side, and always see turning points in life come at any time. They can come when you're young, they don't necessarily come when you're 40 or 50 or 60. And so don't let these things stop you. Now, I'd just like to wind up with a few things about what you can do when you want to start a business, or you want to, try a creative enterprise, or basically try your hand at doing your own thing. Is that you observe. When you observe, you see problems around you, you see opportunities. Try to make a difference with what you do. So, Pune has a social enterprise called EcoExist. They were pioneers for eco-friendly Ganeshas. They were pioneers for eco-friendly holy colors, cloth bags, long before the plastic ban and long before other people jumped onto the bandwagon. So make a difference with your business. That's one way in which you can build your unique selling propositions. Solve problems for people, because people will be ready to pay. What are the products which you buy? Think about it. They help you to solve certain problems. Even a cosmetic helps you to solve a problem that you want to look good. So solve problems. Do some market research. It will help you to understand how people think, what they want, what they need, what their future potential needs are. Like, you see companies testing out driverless cars, and you wonder, why would you need that? Because you need that in future. It's a product that's way ahead of its times. So every artificial assistant you see, Alexa, Siri, all these people are born out of market research. Any Apple product, how do you think it came about? Listen to Steve Jobs launching, and he'll tell you what were the limitations of existing products and how they made their products way ahead of time. So these things are there. Take stock of what you have. That is, see what you have instead of looking at what you don't have. Like all the examples which I gave you now, what is it that I'm good at? What are the resources which I have, and how can I start small? No problem. Like, we've had students who made dream catchers and sold. And if you're good at photography, go out there, take a gig, start small, but do something about it. Take the action. Then define SMART goals. Have these specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time bound goals for yourself. So you should have a goal, something like, okay, I'll get my first 50 customers in so many months, 100 customers in so many months, or 50 orders in so many months. Define those goals for yourself and stick to them. Keep revising them also, depending upon the changing circumstances and situations. Build teams. This is what I said. All of us are not good at everything, and you can't be a one-man army every time. So build a team of people who balance you out. Have good understanding with people. And always, when you are taking on people or giving them work, choose the right man for the right job. And this is not something which you leave in your business management textbook when you study Henry Fayol. This is really important, because giving people work which they are not good at is, it's foolishness, because you waste a lot of time in giving that person a chance to keep working on it, revising it, and get good at it, when somebody could have done it for you in the first shot. So all these things will help you if you want to start a business, you want to start small, you want to start a startup. And I'm sure all of you could be having some really innovative ideas, some creativity somewhere in you. All you need to do is find some self-belief, some confidence, and believe me, you don't get that in any shop. You have to find it in yourself, dig it out, and go ahead. So all the best. I hope as part of the startup and innovation cell of the college this year, whether you're a member or whether you're a volunteer, I'm sure that you will have some opportunity or the other to grow and learn. We will try to put those opportunities within your reach. It's up to you to take advantage of it. Teachers can be facilitators, but learning is always by the students. So, thank you very much, and don't forget to reach out to the core committee if you need anything. You can always tell me, of course, but if you approach them and it comes to me, it would be ideal because they are the contact point between students and me. Thank you very much. Thank you for joining today.